Big win, Don Wilson here for Top MMA News. Here post-fight at the Score Fighting Series in the Hamilton Place Theater. Here with the victorious Jason Saggo. Big win over Eric Attard. Really two prospects coming at it head-to-head, striker, grappler. You got in there, got the takedown, and I gotta ask, what sort of variation was that on the rear naked choke? Because you got it deep, my friend.
It was so funny. We talked about that in the locker room before I went out there. I was trying to just do a traditional, rear naked choke, sliding it in, and it wasn't quite working because of the gloves. So Paul, my jiu-jitsu MMA coach, modified it, and it's like a crank, and it was really effective, and it came into play in that fight for sure. So, thanks to Paul.
It looked just vicious in that one. How was the training camp going into this? I know you've been training everywhere. Why don't you walk us through the training camp leading into the fight?
This is one of the best training camps I've ever had. I got to go out east and work with Matt McGrath, my friend and training partner, and that's where my jiu-jitsu coach and MMA coach, Paul Abel, he has a club out there now. And I was able to combine my training out east with also Crew Mel back here in North Mork for Atlanta Muay Thai. And I'm also going to University of Guelph wrestling. So I've been wrestling up at the University of Guelph now. Lots of great training partners up there. So everything's just coming together, really flowing now from the striking to the takedowns to the jiu-jitsu. It's starting to flow.
Well, I gotta say, the only knock that you ever had before was you had good takedowns, but you didn't have that wrestling shot. And today, I wouldn't call it a shot, but you definitely got him to the ground quicker than before. Are you feeling that top position transition coming in?
Oh yeah, working at the University of Guelph for wrestling. Doug Cox, the coach, Zoltan, Chris Prickett, a good friend of mine, Chris Prickett. They've just been helping me. There's tons of guys there that help me. They all have their individual style, and they're just tweaking my wrestling, getting better all the time. So I'll continue to go up to University of Guelph to wrestle. Lots of good guys out there.
Well, and it's definitely been helping, as we can see with the game now. You're what, 7-1 now, one of the top prospects at 155 in Canada. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do now? What is next for Jason Saggo?
My goal is to be in the UFC, but I also just understood just yesterday that the Rogers acquired the Score, so that's a big acquisition for Rogers. So I think they're going to throw on a huge event. Something big's going to happen, and I want to be a part of that as well. If the Score would like to have me back, I would definitely be with the Score. Well,
I definitely have heard rumors going around that the Score is very interested in having you back on their next outing down to Sarnia. So I'm sure something will go on down the lines. And yes, I'm sure the fans out there have heard Rogers is in the process of taking, buying the Score, which would be huge because Rogers does have a giant relationship with the UFC, with UFC On Demand, all the UFC events, the prelims, all that stuff. So let's hope that all comes together. Now, before we let you go, family, friends, sponsors, you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely. First off, I want to thank my coaches, Paul Abel, Wolf from MMA, Jason Tugliano, my manager, Crew Mel, Atlanta Muay Thai, best striking around in Ontario. So great training, and University of Guelph, obviously, for the wrestling. My sponsors, Rhythm.net. And just all my friends and family for supporting me and letting me to pursue my dreams and helping me along the way. I really appreciate that.
Well, I gotta say, the first time I saw you fight, I believe it was the MMA The Reckoning, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, however long it was. That's where we heard the name Wolf Run MMA. Now it is a staple with you and McGrath and everyone else just making it what it is. So, love seeing that. Anyway, fans, big win, Don Wilson. Jason Saggo, Top MMA News.